Hey all, thanks for popping in. Today we're going to go through build 2 of the Steam Machine prototype rebuild. We'll start with some quick clips from our first video to get you caught up on where we left off. Then we'll jump into a test fit of the installation of the motherboard, the CPU heatsink installation, putting in some RAM. We'll even be disassembling the RTX 4070 Super PCI backplate to better understand how we're going to fit it into the Steam Machine case. Shout out to God Avon from the Phobos community for hanging out, providing his inputs, and having a little bit of fun. Two heads, always better than one, and I encourage viewers to comment their ideas below. I'm always open to your help. You can join the Phobos community Discord using the link in the description below. Finally, I want to thank Gamers Nexus for their helpful research on GPU disassembly, which is also linked in the description. With that, I leave you to it. So just a quick recap of what we accomplished in our prior video. We presented the original Steam Machine case and its internals, including some of the custom injection molded cable and air venting that Valve had made for the original build. We had talked about the custom PCI mounting bracket. We went through notes on the old build configuration, comparing the size, power, and thermal considerations of the original build, which contained the Zotac GeForce GTX 780 3GB GPU, a Silverstone SST-ST455F-G 450-watt SFX power supply, and an ASRock Z87E-ITX mini ITX motherboard. Then, we showed installation of our MSI B650i Edge Wi-Fi mini ITX motherboard. We followed up with installation of the AMD AM5 7700X CPU. No thermal paste, just because we were doing some fit checking here. And finally, we did some test fitting of our Thermalright AXP90-X47 full heatsink. We ran into issues here just as we thought, so we ended the video after taking measurements just to understand how we'd need to modify the heatsink hardware to eliminate an interference issue with that hardware and the original Steam Machine case. That should bring you up to speed. So now, on to the next part of our build.
You also missed a lot of my singing. Like, I'm a good singer. I've heard many people tell me I'm a really good singer. And one of those people, if not all of them, is my mom. My mom.
Yeah, a lot of people say a lot of things, dude. A lot of words coming out of people's mouths.
Yep.
I'm going to be saying a lot of words about rebuilding the prototype Steam Machine, if you recall.
Let's see it, man.
One thing we were concerned about last time was the heat sink and fan combo from Thermalright. Oh, where are we going to show up here? From Thermalright. The AXP90 X47 full, 47 standing for 47 millimeters tall. The concern was that the screws that are used for the mounting that actually go through the motherboard, two here, obviously, right? They go through, and actually they stick out quite far through these holes. They're attached with a nut on the backside. We measured last time, and we did determine that they're going to be too far. They're actually going to run into the case. So I did trim those. I trimmed off 3 millimeters off each screw. It's totally fine. It's going to totally work. It's going to be okay. We're going to live. But I didn't do a test fit of the actual motherboard in the case, because they got this shroud in here from Valve. Right? That fit the ASRock motherboard that they had. I fixed it, by the way. It did a fantastic breakout of the teardown of the Steam Machine. I've used this not just obviously for this, right, and for research for this, to remember what components were in there, but also when I had the Steam Machine, I was just kind of curious. Like, I knew it was coming. I was excited. I think this article came out before I actually received it. But this is 10 years ago. Maybe I actually had the device first. But here we go. Off-the-shelf mini ITX motherboard. They got a link here, so we're going to see what happens with this link. Here we go. ASRock. We said Z87 ITX. 4th gen Intel. DDR3. I think it had 16 gigs of RAM on there. Let's see if we can get a good picture of the board. Yeah, original motherboard. Look at them SATA connectors, dude. Wi-Fi. RAM slots. Let's do the backside. We got a good picture of the backside. Underside, meaning what I'm looking for? No. But anyway, so what they had in here, right? That ASRock motherboard. Obviously, the topography, or whatever the correct term is, for the bottom of that motherboard, radically different from the bottom of this motherboard. This was probably purpose-built to match that ASRock. It does come out. You can see it's probably just, what do you call that process? It wasn't 3D printed. I'm confident of that. Injection molded. Pretty sure it's an injection molded part, which is pretty wild because they only built 300 of these. And it's pretty expensive to set up tooling for injection molding.
Was it really just 300?
300, and that's it.
Dang, dude. And you got one of them.
I got one. I don't know how. I think there were 450,000 people that entered the contest.
Wow.
Lucky duck. I'll take it.
Have you played the lottery?
Yeah. I've handily lost said lottery.
Oh,
many times, actually. Yeah, many times. So I suspect we're gonna run into issues with this here because this is pretty tall right here. Who knows with the rest, right? But if we run into issues here, honestly, I think the whole thing has to come out because you can see this is all like one piece. So motherboard, power supply was up here. GPU, which GTX 780, 3 gig, that was over here. But you can see also a lot of cable routing. I think some of this is actually to route the power cable. You can see the connector back here. You might not be able to see the shape, but you know, your traditional power connector. It's actually an extension. So I'm not going to try to route it.
So is that plastic piece on the bottom of the chassis there, is it literally just to route cables? And
I think a lot of it is.
It's almost like a guide, right?
Yep, I think a lot of it is. I'm not going to put the power cable all the way in here, but you get the general idea. It comes around here through, connects up to the power supply, right?
So it's not needed, basically.
I don't know how much of it is needed because I don't think there was much. God, it's 10 years ago, right? That's why we're doing this. We're going to run into all kinds of things. I'm probably going to have to print something or whatever else. But what I'm saying, I don't think any of it was structural. I think it was all related to either routing of cables or maybe like parts like this that was on top of the old motherboard, the ASRock, which would never fit on this one, right? The heatsink fan here, there's a pretty sweet Zalman all copper heatsink fan on top of that. That obviously came right through here, and you can see this is intended to blow everything right out the top of the case. Let me see if I can get the case here to the back side. So at the top, you can see through the holes, right? Interesting though, the GPU was a blower style, and the GPU we have for this build is a 4070 Super Founders Edition, which is not blower style. So we might run into some issues there too. So we know we're not achieving perfection, right? Not going for perfection, we're going for something cool. But anyway, I think a lot of these parts are going to end up scrapped as a result. Maybe I can 3D print some rudimentary ones if I need to do so. I don't know what they're going to be. We're going to find out though. One thing I do suspect I'm going to have to 3D print. If you look at the front of the case, this is where the two USB connectors come out. Let's get this here. So two USB, I pulled these out. It's your internal USB header cables that plug into your motherboard. It's got a little cap. This also looks very purpose-built to hold the front of the USB up here, right? And the back of the cable here. Plugs in. And it kind of secures. And there's 3 screws that go down, right? Securing those cables. So when you're pushing on the front, obviously the cable's not going to pop out. I think I'm going to have to rebuild this, right? Might be something easy to 3D print, relatively speaking, right? I'm not a master modeler. But I was doing some other research. The motherboard I did get has a USB-C 3.2 cable. So I'd like to route a USB-C cable to the front, along with your traditional USB-A, right? That's your traditional port. Just because I think it'd be handy to have USB-C up front. Did some research on some cables. I haven't pulled the trigger on a cable, but this is going to be a very iterative build, and I'm getting way ahead of myself. We haven't even checked to see if the motherfucker fits.
Yeah, that's what I'm waiting for, because that bottom part there,
yeah,
you know, with all the molding and stuff, like all the, yeah, I'm afraid that the motherboard is going to say nope.
Yeah, it's purpose built for that other one, right? Yeah. Well, so let's get to it, right? This is a Mini ITX B650i Edge Wi-Fi. Socket AM5. So we got a Ryzen 7700X to pair with that. It's already in here. We installed it last time. See what happens.
Moment of truth. That back end looks like it's lifting up a bit.
Yeah, there is a little bit, I think I see. Let me twist it so I can get a little bit better view for myself. Put it down. Oh, okay. So we got a good fit in the back.
There you go. There you go.
But what I'm seeing, which might not translate very well, so the back here seems like it fits very well, honestly. Like the height wise and everything, we're good. Right? Let's check. Show you on the backpack. Right? Everything looks like it's lining up even from here. Maybe it's a little tall. You can see maybe a little bit of a gap there. Let's see. But running into an issue here. This is actually not fully seated. It's not fully flat. Can you see the board flex a little bit? So there's something underneath. More around here. Obviously middle to the back here. Since the back is doing okay. You know what we're going to have to do? Let's just pitch it. Let's pitch that piece, because I think we got some interference fit. So probably what's happening, let's look at the back of this. Put these side by side. What do you think? This is very tall right here. I bet it's hitting this. Also this back plate, yeah, definitely. This is way too tall. This is hitting the back plate here for sure. I don't even know why this was here, honestly, what that was for.
Is that piece removable? Like the whole plastic piece that you're looking at right there? Like,
I think it is. Okay. Got a couple screws here. Screw here, so we'll take these out. Let's see what happens.
Oh, is that whole thing one piece?
I think it is. So.
Oh wow.
It's a YOLO. People still say that? Nobody still says that, do they?
No, just you.
There's these three. I don't know if there's any other screws, but these out. Oh, yeah,
I bet that whole piece was just there for like cable routing and airflow. And
yeah, I bet you're right.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going too far into something I don't really know what I'm talking about.
You sound smart, dude.
But yeah, injection molding, that's like the old school way. Now it's 3D printing. I mean, injection molding is still the way to go if you're building like tens of thousands of parts. It's still a lot cheaper and super fast. Legos are injection molded. All right, let's see. Dude, I'm going to be upset if this doesn't fit at all. I didn't even think about that, honestly, until just this second.
The stream if it doesn't. Just cut
I know. We'll just throw everything across the room. No, we won't. We'll just get a new case and the project will be dead. But you know what? This fits like a dream,
It looks good. It
fits
really
like a dream.
good.
Fits like a dream. Piece of cake.
Any flex in the back there towards you, like how we saw before, or no?
Nothing. We're solid. We're right straight down.
Nice.
Nothing. No interference. I guess the only last, not the only, but the last piece I'm concerned about, last pieces, I am planning to install NVMe on the back. NVMe here should be okay. Let's just do it. And also the heatsink fan that comes through here. We have to see if that's okay. Let's do both those. This is the SK Hynix Platinum P41 NVMe. Heard good things. Comparable in price to some of the other NVMe's. I think I have a Samsung 970 in my main PC. Also Western Digital Black. Both fantastic drives, which I believe you mentioned before on this channel. But something pushed me to try this drive. There we go. I've seen some pretty cool attachments for these NVMe screws where you basically just twist it. I don't think I've ever had a motherboard yet that does that, however. So this is still shorter than this. It doesn't quite protrude. It's not much taller than this here itself. Let's see what happens. Actually, let's keep testing over and over here. It's back in. No problem. Feels great. Let's look through. Yeah, we got clearance. Yeah, we got clearance. We're good. Now, heatsink fan. After some measuring in our last video, we actually had to trim. Let's see. So see the longer side of that? You can see my handiwork where it's been trimmed. It's not quite flush and flat. I had to trim about 3 millimeters off this edge here. Otherwise, it protruded too far, and they caused an interference with the bottom of the case. It's Corsair's XTM50. Yeah. X pattern. There's probably better ways. Like I said, we're gonna get judged for this. It's fine. Let's do some tests. See what happens. We're gonna remember to remove the please peel off label before you use it, obviously. Sometimes not so obvious. I've seen some things. And then the last question, do we want... Probably want cable on this side. We're going to go through, I'm just going to set it, align it through here. Barely poking through here. Let me bring it up to the camera so you can see. So now those screws right here, front of my finger, barely poking through. They used to be a lot longer. So, moment of truth, does the motherboard and the NVMe and the heatsink and the fan, obviously the fan's not going to do it. Okay. And voila, as they say, we're good. See that? They almost have like, it's almost like a washer built in. But anyway, I like those. Rest assured. Whoa, hold on, dude.
Hello.
Putting screws into a motherboard. Hey man, welcome back.
Sorry about that.
Oh, you're good, dude. I said I keep going a little bit. You know, it's like you get that. You know it. I know you know it. You start building the computer and you're like, it's kind of a pain or whatever. But then you start building, you're like, okay, I got this in. I want to do more. I want to do more.
Yeah.
Like I want to get as far as I can, right?
Yep, we love to fix problems.
It's fun. So all that time, all I did was secure. Honestly, I installed a heatsink fan. We had good clearance on the bottom after we trimmed the screws. We have the NVMe installed underneath. I used the wrong screwdriver because I don't have the correct screwdriver, but it still worked out just fine.
So, quick question. So,
yes,
you got the motherboard in.
Mm-hmm.
We removed the plastic shroud or whatever.
We did. Thank you. We did. Oh, sorry. Excuse me.
So, no, that's fine. So the top. So now the top of the case, do we have clearance with that cooler and enough space to allow like airflow into the CPU?
So, let me show you. The cover, the case, the cover of the case. These out of the way. We do. By the way, spoiler alert, we do. But
because if I remember from episode 1, that was where we left off. That was the cliffhanger, brother.
Yeah, it's very close. There's a good 3 to 4. I mean, I don't have calibrated eyes, but there's a good 3 to 4 millimeters. So let me just show you just from so I can get something flat on top of this case so you can kind of see, because I'm not going to put the cover on right now. It's actually a little bit of a pain in the butt to put the cover on. But so this is laying flat across the top of the case, right? I'm just going to lift it up so you can kind of see.
All right.
How close we are. So we got it pretty good.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Not bad.
Mission accomplished.
So for the memory, G-Skill, great brand I've used long time, many builds. I think I almost kind of seek it out as my primary for memory, just because it's fine, right? It works well. It's rated really well. These are the Flare X5 DDR5.
Always check your motherboard compatibility. Chart,
Very
documentation, whatever. Yeah, for sure.
Very true. Flare X5 DDR5 6000. I think also important is AMD has a certain. So Intel, what do they call it? XMP profile?
XMP,
Yeah. AMD's got their own version, obviously, right? As they do. What do they call it for AMD Expo? So this is AMD Expo ready. You can even see on here, if I can get it to focus. It's AMD Expo ready. So it's my understanding it's their version of Intel's XMP profiling.
So Expo is AMD's version of Intel's XMP and offers better voltage control than Intel XMP while enabling automatic overclocking with a single click.
Bada bing, bada boom. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Well stated, dude. You just pull that right off the top of your head.
Just knowledge from the internet. Yeah.
We're not going to be overclocking this. If anything, I have again been doing a little bit of research on the 7700X. We might do a little bit of undervolting just to make sure we keep those temperatures down.
Well, it also depends. Like what is this thing going to be doing, right? This computer. Do you really need all that voltage, or?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if it's just like a streaming computer, or you're going to watch videos on it, what's the application, right?
Yeah, and I'll be honest, the application's still undecided, right? I mean, I have a good, strong PC already, right? Prior gen, fine, great. The hardware going into this one. I
got an idea.
Yeah.
This computer can offload all of the shader processing for COD on your main computer. So when you know what I mean? Like when you're doing something else on your main computer, this is just regurgitating and reprocessing all the shaders that COD requires to run.
Oh yeah. So this will get used daily.
Oh, 100%.
I'm thinking actually of, and we'll see. We change my mind all the time, but I'm thinking of actually having this be my main PC.
Oh, wow.
And turning the existing PC that we're recording this on into purely recording streaming PC. Because it is larger case. It's 11 Dynamic XL, right?
Oh, yeah.
Your traditional.
A lot more airflow for sure.
Yeah. Your traditional ATX motherboard. So I have more PCI slots if I want to put a capture card or whatever else. Though the 3080 Ti is a behemoth and it does take up a lot of space in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how this runs. That 4070 Super, when you look online, it seems actually pretty comparable to the 3080 Ti in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
My concern with the GPU, right? So, let me get this in frame. One, we have the custom bracket. I covered this a minute ago, but we have the custom bracket from the prior GTX 780, right? So you can see it doesn't have your, normally on your PCI slots, you kind of have that little end coming off, right? And that kind of screws in, holds it in to the bracket, whatever else. But, obviously this is different. It screws into the back of the card, right? Through a couple screws here. Also, there's one very small little piece that also screws into the card itself. Card came in, rested. I think it actually did rest a little bit on that shroud that was here. It had to have, right? Because it's not just gonna be dangling. It'll be like a little diving board. So I think what's gonna have to happen, some sort of support up front, for sure. Maybe something in the middle as well. So we're gonna have to refab something custom for the new GPU as well, right? Kind of see how we can get it to fit so it at least secures to the back. We're gonna have to fabricate something custom to ensure that we don't have the diving board, sort of springboard for the GPU itself altogether. Then we'll kind of have to see how secure it is in here as well. If just the back itself is gonna be strong enough to keep it from moving around, because this case will be moved around a little bit. Or if we're gonna have to do something else to kind of friction fit it in place, so to speak, once it's in here. I think that's gonna be the biggest challenge of the build. Yeah, I'm worried about the GPU. How it's gonna fit.
Why is that?
Well, a little bit. One, the bracket, right? Not super worried about the bracket. I think easy to drum, not easy, but I think I can drum something up, go through a couple good enough type things to get something going for securing to the back. But I don't know how it's gonna sit in here.
We'll put it in there. Where's it at?
So here it is. By the way,
so why are you worried about this?
Go ahead. By the way, this is a sexy card, dude.
Oh,
I love
sexy.
I love the all black.
Dude. It's a beaut, Clark. Yeah, it's a beaut.
There's nothing wrong with that gray. On the non-supers. Nothing wrong with it, right? But man, it reminds me
Hey. Sorry, go ahead.
Let's say it reminds me of the Noctua Chromax black. Right, where it's just blacked out, right? It's got the matte and it's got the gloss black. I don't know. It's a GPU. Why am I being such a dork about it? I don't know, but it's cool.
I don't know, because it's like one of the most important parts of the computer.
It's good looking.
I'm
gonna have to take the back of this off. It looks like, hang on. Looks like it's just 4 screws that have to come out. They're Torx screws, 1, 2, and then the other side 3, 4.
What's the bracket that you have right now? You laid in the case a second ago.
So yeah, that one. See how it goes here. So it's gonna go like, which would be the equivalent would be like yo. So this is the equivalent. Put them. It's really hard to get my orientation correctly here. But yeah, this will be the equivalent. So
that's like DVI ports.
It is.
Top one.
Yep, 2 DVI. I think we got a HDMI and a display port.
Wow, that's old school, brother.
Right. Yeah. So let me get these screws out. No, I think there's more to it, unfortunately. It's more than just those 4 screws. I think there's something underneath this plate, this back plate here, or whatever you want to call this.
Oh, I'm sure there is. Yep.
Let's do a little wiggle shimmy and we got nothing.
It's like Johnny Ives from Apple designed that. It's a aluminium unibody.
Oh boy. I really don't want to take this whole GPU apart for this.
Oh, I know, right? Because it's so perfect.
Yeah, it is, right?
Yeah, it's a great design. It's beautiful.
Should look up online.
Yep.
Let's take a quick look. Take a quick look. See.
What's crazy is the amount of power in that GPU that you're able to fit in that tiny case. Like, it still blows me away today because I go back to like my days in 1990. I don't know, 6 maybe 96, 97.
Mm-hmm.
The 3DFX Voodoo card.
Oh,
it
yeah.
was the first 3D accelerator that did OpenGL 3D acceleration, and you paired it with your 2D card back then, which was like a Trident. You know, it had 4 megabytes of video RAM, and
remember the dongle too? You had to do the dongle.
You had to do the pass through. That's right. And whenever you would go in the first game that took advantage of that was Quake 1 back in 96. So Quake 1 OpenGL, you launch it and you would hear the video click. It physically clicked over from the 2D to the 3D card, which is the 3D, or I'm sorry, the Voodoo 3DFX video card, and it was just insane.
Yeah, I don't remember the physical click. I don't remember that part. I don't know, maybe my computer was too loud, or obviously how many years ago was this, right? My memory's terrible anyway.
1996, man. 96, dude.
I remember that physical click,
yeah,
which is pretty cool. Like, man, looking back,
it was mind-blowing. Just blew my mind. And you know what? It inspired me. Like, it just, I played like Nintendo and, you know, what was it, like the Jaguar 64-bit or 32-bit
Atari, yeah, 64. Oh, they said it was 64-bit. I think it had 2 32-bit processors or something, right?
Yeah. But when you launched into Quake, like GL Quake, which is like with using that 3D processor.
Oh yeah.
Holy moly.
Mind-blowing difference, right?
Yeah.
I remember thinking like, oh, it's not going to be that big of a difference, or, you know, what's the big deal, right? Oh, it runs fine on my, you know, software renderer on my computer. Like, what did I have? A Pentium 2 at the time? Maybe it was Pentium 2, 266.
Not even. No, back then.
Sorry, I didn't get it till Voodoo 2. You're right. So Voodoo 1 was earlier. Yeah.
I love it. Like, every generation. No, this is the pinnacle. This is it. Like, we've reached the top, you know? No, we haven't. Yeah.
This guy over at Gamers Nexus, he did this for us.
Gamers Nexus? They don't know what they're talking about.
They don't do any research at all, you know?
Yeah.
There's off the back of a truck.
Let's see it. What are they doing?
He did the 4070, right? But I think there's a lot of very similar. They're extremely similar, right? 4070 Super from everything I heard. So
I would think, yeah.
Let's see.
It's just higher clock speeds, I would think.
Yeah, let's just kind of see what he said. And he's also so kind. You know, he's good at putting timestamp in his video. Look at this, removing the back plates, dude. Right to it. There you go. So we're gonna shamelessly steal some of his research. Thank you, Steve. I believe it is Gamers Nexus. You're a champ.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. But look at it. So a little flathead screwdriver. Pop that up. Okay. Yeah. And I did see that when I was looking over at the 4070 Super. There you go. See it again.
I don't like that. Move ahead.
Either it's brand new, dude. Okay. So there's something here.
Yeah, but keep
going. I feel
going.
like the rest is here. Okay. But that's the bottom of that. Yeah, we'll keep going.
Yeah.
jump ahead. I don't know if he takes that. Oh, what was that, dude?
I don't like that.
Oh,
I don't like that. I don't like it, man.
Oh.
That's like brain surgery, dude.
Please, Lord, tell me that's not what I have to do. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Look at this.
No, I see it. It's two different pieces. It looks like, right?
It does, doesn't it? Well, I don't know.
Skip ahead. Skip ahead. Skip ahead.
Yeah. Doing a great job, Steve. Also, you're way better at keeping stuff in frame, but also, like Steve's got a cameraman.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, here we go. This is what we're looking for.
Also, he also has like multiple of these video cards because if you had one, I would not be doing this.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. Look at that, dude. What did he do?
Okay, go back. Go back.
He took out those 4 screws. He's like...
Well, okay, but
what I'm saying...
Oh,
what I'm thinking is going on... Yeah, once that back plate is off, I think that's all that's holding it in, honestly, is that back plate.
Yeah.
After watching this.
Okay. So, yeah, by the way, shout out to Gamers Nexus. They actually are pretty cool. They're really good at what they do.
Yeah.
Way smarter than us.
Way smarter, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. But that's the power of the internet, man. The collective intelligence, or lack thereof, of all of us.
For sure.
So here it is. I don't know if you can see that little slot there.
Yep.
Trying to get it in frame. So we're gonna try to get a little.
Do you have like a little thin, like a super thin flathead? There we go. Yeah.
So you're getting a bad view still, but so I just put it in. I could definitely feel like a little bit of springiness. Lifting up here. Oof. Yeah.
It's kind of scary, right?
I don't like it at all. Let me get a little bit bigger of a lift. Maybe too small. Get the biggest one out of this. I'm sure everybody has this screwdriver kit, right?
Yeah, for sure. From 1997.
Yep. Oh, there it goes. That's better. So I have it lifted. I'm going to use a second screwdriver. Oh, wait, actually, I don't have to. There we go.
Oof.
So this is all one piece, actually. That actually wasn't bad. That wasn't bad.
Nice, nice. So basically, that clips in on the top. I see holes. Okay.
Yeah, let's see. I don't know if you can see good enough detail there. It doesn't really show anything that well, honestly, but
a little bit. Yeah.
Doesn't look damaged. Oh, there's actually there's almost like a little metal spring clip right here. You push on this, and it actually springs a little bit. So, oh, clever design. So, I think he had to take these out as well to get this portion off.
Yes, I think so.
I do not like having to do this. It just feels wrong.
There you go. Nice.
Yeah. Let's just try this as is in there right now, because I don't think I need to put those pieces back on to see how it fits.
Let's see how beautiful this thing looks.
It's basically going to go like yo.
Yep. So where the fan is, right? So it's bringing air in from the top, right?
Yeah. And then the other fan. Actually, where does the air come in? Is it coming in from the top and blowing out the back from the bottom fan? What do you think? We'll have to look that up.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. So there's a fan on the top, which we see, and then down below, if you flip it around, if you flip it 180, so there's another fan there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I could definitely see that that's probably...
It comes out.
Yep. Probably, right? So it's going to be sucking air from inside the case on that bottom fan.
Yeah.
And this is probably intended to draw air in as well, because I think it's like comes through, down and out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe this is actually where it's sucking it in for the case.
Yeah, because I mean that makes sense, right? The only intake it has is from inside the case. It has to blow it out the card. So yeah.
So the other thing, look at the PCI Express connector, right? Obviously, we need some sort of adapter cable to go into the motherboard here.
Correct. Yeah. Cooler Master makes one that's really affordable.
This little cutout here, that obviously lines with a specific part of your motherboard, as do the pins. And this connector here. This is actually of a unique orientation for these cards themselves. Most of the cards, it's actually the opposite direction, because I believe most cards, it's actually wrapping it back over, whereas this is wrapping it out. So this is a unique way of how these connectors are set up. It's not really typical that it comes out this side. So this is almost positive it's going to be too short. So it'll probably connect to the card, right? But the height of the card with respect to this opening back here is going to be wrong. I only know that because the card that came out of here, assuming the height of the motherboard from the bottom of the case is the same, which it probably is, the height of the card that came out of here was a little bit taller. So if this connector on that card was the same height from the top of the card, then that means this whole section is shorter.
Well, let's try it. Let's see.
Yeah, see that? I don't know if you can actually. Let me lift it up. Oh, it's heavy boy now. See the difference there?
Oh, I see. Yeah. Oh, wow. That's a big difference. Yeah.
So I'm just going to have to buy a cable is what it is. Like you're saying, either that Leon Lee or what have you, right? Wants to do the cable. Totally fine. I knew I was taking a chance when I did this. It's from A-Data. They even actually emailed me. I ordered this off of Amazon. You can order it direct from their website as well. But I ordered it off of Amazon, and they even emailed me. They're like, hey, you can't get a return on this. Are you sure this is exactly what you want? Which, in a lot of ways, it tells me they've gotten a lot of returns for these, for people that have made mistakes or people trying to return them. So good on them for trying to actually warn people to say, hey, don't just order this willy-nilly, buddy, like I just did here. This is going to be the challenge. Yeah, this is going to be tough. Because see the old one? It's got that screw in the middle. That's one of the ways that it secures to the GPU. This one doesn't have the same way to secure to the GPU. So this is going to be a lot different. I'm going to have to think about it.
Can you 3D print that though? Like that precise?
Yeah. And for a mock-up, I think it'll work fine for a mock-up. So I'm not going to use it, right? Because it won't be strong. But yeah, we could 3D print something very precise. We got a Bamboo Labs X1 Carbon. Great printer. The harder parts, like I said, can be drawing it up. So I'm going to have to think about it. What I might do, let me tell you what I'm thinking right now. And it's not going to work out this way, but it's a thought. So look at how much room we have up in front of the GPU here. I don't believe we got power supply, GPUs, CPU motherboard. Am I missing something here?
Sound Blaster 16.
Oh, Sound Blaster 16 right here.
Yeah, yep.
What I'm getting at is there's a lot of room up here. So what I may have to do, since this screw hole back here does not have an equivalency to go through the bracket, into the actual card itself, because these screws are in different locations, I might have to do like some sort of adapter where I actually come through. Ooh, brother. I'm going to need some help with a mechanical engineer on this, just to help me through the process. But anyway, so whatever plate I get, it might actually be a thick plate. So it'll attach through the screw here on this side, but that's only after I have a plate that attaches with these 4 screws on this side. So the cabling, it's actually gonna, it's probably gonna rest. Oh, I can't. Interesting. The concern with that is the cable. I can't like bend the cable too much this way either.
You can a little bit,
yeah,
not a lot, but a little bit. Yeah.
So I'll just have to make sure that I'm not coming like forward like this, right? I'll just have to come forward a little bit. Interesting. Yeah, this is gonna be a heck of a thing. I did not see this coming. But luckily I know some very smart people at work.
You know what? Hey, good luck.
Thank you. I don't know if I like the way you said it, but thank you.
It's gonna work out. It's gonna be awesome, dude. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool. Power supply, it's gonna fit fine. Everything's gonna be fine. We're gonna be totally fine. Maybe I should put that in there before I actually start to do more of the measurement for this as well.
Yeah, and if anybody watching has any ideas, please submit them in the comments. Whatever, please let us know, or let Drew know. He needs help. He really needs
obviously help. You can tell. Right? I've thought this through, right? But I've thought it through enough to where like I knew I was going to come up with issues. I knew there was going to be an issue with the depth of the screws on this, right? Because I think I stumbled across it, honestly, when I was trying to look up to make sure this heatsink was compatible with AM5 motherboard. So I knew that was going to happen. I had a pretty fair idea that the shroud on the bottom, like Keith, you said, get rid of it, right? Just pull it out, see what happens. I was pretty sure that was going to happen. Ooh, just because that was purpose built for the old hardware. Nobody's that lucky. I knew there was going to be a little bit of an issue with the card. Honestly, I knew that card I bought wasn't going to work. I just wanted to see what it looked like so I could learn something from it to understand what I need to do, right? I was trying to do the card because the existing or the prior revision had a card in there too. Oh, go cable. It's totally fine. But what I didn't anticipate was this back.
Yeah.
The way it's secure to the back.
Hashtag Gamers Nexus help, please. Yeah.
Anybody. Yeah, like Gamers Nexus is going to have any idea that this video is out there.
Or just hashtag help. Yeah.
Hashtag help. Yeah. So,
Drew, awesome, man. This is great. Looking forward to number 3 coming up soon. Yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna drop this for today. Appreciate you hanging out. By the way, appreciate your inputs, your suggestions. As always, for me, probably for a lot of us, 2 heads are better than 1. Yeah, we're gonna continue on the next one. We're gonna do some stuff offline. We're gonna look at both of these plates. We're gonna come up with some more ideas. Hopefully people can submit some ideas. If they do happen to come across the video, we would love it. Take any and all ideas, and we'll come back. We'll come back maybe with just a little bit of progress specific to the plates themselves. We'll do a little bit more fitting on the GPU. And then we'll see where it goes from there. All right. Coming up in future videos, we plan to model a custom PCI bracket for the back of the case. I think we can make something a little bit simpler than what I initially feared. We'll also test fit some custom support brackets for the GPU inside the case, making sure we don't forget about our power supply cable routing. Obviously, we'll be installing the PCI Express 4.0 riser cable, and we'll also look at the routing of our power cables just to see whether there might be any further modifications inside the case. With that, thanks again for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.